partners, you're going to need your book and your pencil and eraser today. And we are doing something today called algebra. Now, algebra is when you really think about how to manipulate numbers, how to take them apart and rearrange them and put them back together so that you can do different things with them. Now, what you're starting today is just a really simple piece of algebra, but even high school students study algebra so that we can really learn how we can use those numbers to switch things around and actually create things that can be really useful to us. All right, guys, today we're working on lesson 4.3. This right here is the word algebra, ways to make 10. So boys and girls, this is something that's so important. You're going to be studying this a lot and practicing it over and over and over in first grade. In fact, if we were in the classroom right now, we would be doing so many things to practice all the different ways to make 10. We would not do a lot of this stuff in the book. Instead, we would be spending time every day practicing ways to make 10. So boys and girls, you don't actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cubes all of one color. And that is what you would need to do this paper the way they planned for it to do. I'm going to try to come out a little bit here. So what you're going to do instead of actually using the cubes, you're going to just be using crayons. I have some colored pencils right here handy, so that's what I'm going to use. You can see right here they have 1, 2, 3, 4 blue ones. So here, you're going to do a different number of blue ones. So you could choose maybe 2 blue ones. You could choose 3 blue ones here. Choose a different number of blue ones. You could choose more. You could choose 5 blue ones or 6, any number all the way up to 9. And then over here, choose still a different number. So you could choose again here 1, you could choose 2, all sorts of different numbers. And then the top part, see here how they have their top part being this red color? So you're going to make your top part also be red. Now, boys and girls, you did a little bit of this yesterday with the counters. You remember you had a 10 frame with 10 counters, and we started with all of them red, and we wrote this many red and then this many yellow, and then we flipped some of them, and we could have this many red and this many yellow. Today, that's what we're continuing to work with. So finish this, color the rest of this one red, and again, you can choose different numbers here than what I chose. Just make sure just make sure that all 3 of them are different. All right, next page. Now, do you see this? We're actually going to turn this guy a little sideways, and you are going to need your blue and red crayons again. So here you can see they've already done one example for you. And do you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? They did 9 blue cubes. And then over here, there was 1 red cube, and together that made 10 cubes. So boys and girls, we're going to continue this pattern with the rest of these 2 pages. So let's take a look here. It says 8 blue cubes. So you're going to get out your crayon and color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue ones. 8 blue cubes, and now how many red ones? So everything that's left is going to be red. So we have these 2 down here at the end that we're going to color red. I'm sorry, my camera is kind of wobbling all over a little bit here. I'm going to try to keep it a little more still for you. All right, so with 8 blue ones, how many red ones did we end up with? Well, we have 8 blue, and we color the rest of them red, and the rest of them is 2. So 2 red ones, and then boys and girls, how many cubes is that together? I'm going to pause for a minute, count them if you need to. And possibly you didn't need to count it. Possibly you just knew that that's going to be 10 cubes. Did you make your 0 starting up at the top? because even our numbers start up at the top. All right, boys and girls, down here, you're going to color blue cubes now, 7 blue cubes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the rest of them go red. And if I'm going to make the rest of these be red, that's 1, 2, 3 of them that are red. So 3 blue cubes. I'm sorry, 3 red cubes. Obviously, it's 7 blue. 7 blue, 3 red, and all together that makes 10 cubes. Now, boys and girls, do you start to notice a pattern here? You might start to notice some patterns. 9, 8, 7, and now on to the next page. We have here, we didn't go to 6, did we? Now we have 5 and 3 and 2. So boys and girls, I think you get the process here. I'm going to do one more set, and then you're going to do 3 and 2 on your own. So 5 blue cubes, 1, 2, 3, and you guys should be doing this in your books also. 4, 5, don't just sit there and look at me. 5 blue cubes, and then how many red ones will go with those 5 blue ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you color more slowly and you need to pause the video to catch up with your coloring, that is fine. Oh, this one isn't really colored very well, is it? All right, so we did 5 blue and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red ones. And all together, you know this from your fingers, right? 5 fingers and 5 more fingers means we have 10 cubes here. All right, boys and girls, do this one. Color 3 blue cubes. Color the rest of them red. Write down how many red ones there are, and then how many there are altogether. 2 blue cubes. Color all the rest of them red. Write down how many red ones there are, and how many cubes altogether. Pause the video if you need to, and we're going to go on to the last page together. We're still going to be working sideways on this one. All right, guys. So it says to use the dot side of 2 number tiles to make 10. Now, don't worry about that. You don't have that kind of tool, but you can look back here. We're going to use some of the other things that we didn't have. So let's imagine a 10 frame. So boys and girls, let's do right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots. Now then let's take a look. What would we have here still in the 10 frame? 1, 2, 3, 4. We would use 4 more to get to 10, wouldn't we? Let's do that down here now. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. That was another number we didn't have on the other side of the page. So we would have 4 dots, and then how many more would we fill in to get to 10? Well, remember a 10 frame, it's going to have 5 across. We have 4 here. There's our 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those slashes. Then boys and girls down here, you can choose how you want to do it. But you need to have 2 numbers here that together will make 10. So this is the page to show me. You choose 2 more numbers that are going to add up to 10. Make sure that there are pictures here so that I can see which numbers you're using to add together to make 10. All right, guys, probably not too hard, but it's so important to start getting in our brain things that we put together to make into a 10. We call those 10's math facts. We call it a math fact when we're talking about 2 things that we can add together to make a number, or if we subtract something, what we're going to get. So you can start using your fingers to practice things that will add up, and obviously 5 and 5, right? But then you could think about maybe putting this thumb over here with this hand And over here you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and over here you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Sometimes people do it this way. They will put up their 10 fingers and put some down. And then they'll check what they have down. They have 1, 2, 3 down. And then they'll count the ones that are still up. Now you can start over here, but sometimes it's easier just to count on from one hand, right? You know how many fingers are on this hand. Right, you know it's 5, so we can say 5, 6, 7. So 7 and 3 more are 10. Using your fingers like that to really start sticking those tens math facts in your brain is going to be really helpful for first grade math next year.